Hey guys, oh my gosh, I have been so excited to share this tip with you. Something amazing happened just recently as I was doing some research, and I've really got to get this tip out to you. And this episode of Auntie Jen's 2 Cents is called Newspapers, Newspapers, Newspapers. Okay, I know I'm a little excited. I'm a little overexcited, but this is really great. The information that I came up with here, and I know we've talked about newspapers before and how they can be a treasure trove of information. And it's like every time I'm doing research, I find another reason why newspapers are just so important to your research. Okay, so here's what I've been doing. I am putting together a couple of blog posts about my second great grandma, Pauline Ilg. I haven't released any of them yet. I'm finishing writing her whole story, and then I'm going to share the different posts as they come about. Well, I was researching her journey from Germany to the United States, and I don't have a whole lot of information. I do have the passenger list for when she arrived in New York. And it didn't exactly give her hometown, but it talked about where she came from, so that was helpful. And I have a little German date book that actually mentions the little town where she came from. So I'm typing up her story, and I'm trying to research history according to the time so I can maybe add some more details. And I'm sitting here looking through her information, and I'm thinking, okay, I know she arrived on this date in New York. I wonder if the newspapers actually published that information, because the newspapers were known for publishing pretty much everything that was going on in the city. I originally wanted to see if there were any articles mentioning immigration or another ship has come in, because I'd been researching about the ships that were coming in, the immigrant ships. Oh my gosh, they were just coming in constantly. So there had to have been some newspaper articles or something going on. And so I decided to look up on newspapers.com, and I looked up, I didn't know which newspaper it would be in. So I checked for New York because I know she arrived in actual New York, Port of New York. So I looked at the New York Tribune, and I tried doing a couple of searches, but nothing much was coming up. So I just started paging through and looking at all the columns and all the information. And I was shocked because they have this section called Marine Intelligence. Sometimes they changed up the words a little bit, but what it is it was all the details of what was going on at the port, the sunrise and sunset, the wind speeds, and even the ships that were coming and going, and also what was going on out on the sea, and even the ships that were leaving from other ports over in Europe. Oh my gosh. So I started looking through on the date that she supposedly arrived in New York. And at first I couldn't find anything. I'm seeing a list of all these ships, and it's like, okay, I know her ship came in, but where is it? Well, I looked a little closer on the passenger list, and technically they arrived a day before the actual paperwork was submitted. The paperwork was submitted on June 4th, but they actually arrived on June 3rd. And I had the name of the ship, so I looked it up on June 3rd. Oh my gosh. And there was her ship. Her ship was listed there, that it had arrived. Oh my goodness. So another source to add to my collection to show that yes, this ship did arrive here and what was going on around that time. But that wasn't even the most exciting part. You see, the thing is all of the ship manifests from when people took off from Bremen or Bremerhaven, they've all been destroyed. So we don't know when they shipped, we don't know when they left, we don't know who left. So that's kind of a bummer because I didn't know when she actually left Bremer and how long the journey was going to be from there into New York. Now, obviously, this is not a passenger list, but because I had the name of her ship, I just started looking back over the days before till I found her ship and when it left the foreign port of Bremen. See here? As you can see here, it says foreign ports and it has the name of her ship and when they left. So now I know when she actually left Germany. Oh my goodness. And then I was able to determine how many days that journey took. Because I'd heard so many different reports about how long it was on the ship, how long it took them to get from port to port. And there were so many different options and so much information. I didn't know for sure. All I could do was estimate. But now I had an answer. It only took 5 days. That's actually a pretty short trip. I'm very shocked. Most I was hearing was 8 to 10 days. Oh gosh, this is much better. So the point of all of this rambling and how excited I am is to say, newspapers may hold some more clues about the time that your ancestors were around. And don't forget to check for different things that have been happening around because they did affect your ancestors' life. Like I said, I never thought to check when the ships actually arrived in New York. So if you have a ship name and you have an approximate date, look at the New York Tribune and look for the section that has to talk about the ships and sometimes they were passing ships, sometimes they were arriving, sometimes they were departing. I'm going to do this for other members of my family that I know came over so I can find anything that I can about their ships. So yeah, newspapers once again has shown me just how much of a valuable asset that they are. Now, if you don't have a subscription to newspapers.com, check with your library. Sometimes you can access newspapers.com through the login of your library. I'm able to access it through the St. Louis County Library. I just log in and then I look at their online databases and we have access through them. I know there are some other libraries that do that too. Also, talk to some friends who may have some subscriptions to newspapers.com. We have in our group, GAA, there's a great group of people who will do some lookups for you. Now, don't take advantage. Be, calm and courteous here, but if there are certain things that you're looking for, we have some great people that'll help us out in GAA. So I'll put the link below. If there's anything specific that you have found in newspapers that have just been eye-opening to you or exciting, please share below. I really want to hear more about this. So anyway, that's my exciting story and that's my 2 cents. So don't forget about the newspapers. So we'll see you later.